This is the eighth circle of hell, called Malabulge, which means evil ditches. It is protected by the monster Girion, who has the face of man, a body of half reptile, half beast, with a scorpion staring on his tail. His face and body are symbolic of the primary sins of the circle: fraud, his face of innocence with the body of a monster's, and maliciousness. The circle contains 10 trenches called the Bulgias. Bulgia 1 contains the Pandurers and Seducers. Bulgia 2 contains the Flatterers. Bulgia 3 contains the Seminiacs. Bulgia 4 contains the Fortune Tellers or the Diviners. Bulgia 5 contains the Grafters. The people here committed, as quoted by Virgil, a form of malice that is displeasing to God than the sense of concupiscence and violence. In this circle, the sinners will most likely have offended another victim, especially those that they hold a special bond to. This is why they are punished in one of the lowest circles of hell.
From the first Bolgia, Canto 18, Jason from the Greek mythology and Benedico Cascianemico are mentioned. Jason is said to be placed in that trench due to his actions of deceiving women that loved him, who are Hypsile and Medea. Benedico is placed in the first trench because he sold his sister to a nobleman. In Bolgia 3 or Canto 19, allusion of Pope Nicholas III and Pope Boniface VIII's stories are told. They were Simonists, the people who bought or sold sacred things. This basically meant that they used religious power as greed. The fourth Bolgia, told in Canto 20, Amphiaraus, Tiresias, and Mentos allusions are told. These three classic and famous Greek mythological seers are used as allusions to explain that they are being punished for trying to look far ahead in the future.
Within Malabulge, there are many sins present, each within their own Bolgia and each with their own punishment. Dante's attitude also differs for each one, depending on the crime and their relationship to Dante in life. In the first Bolgia, the souls of hell are being mercilessly driven and forced to run like slaves, with horned demons whipping them endlessly. These people are the pimps and the seducers, and those who used women for personal gain. They are being forced to run and do horrible tasks, just as they once forced others to do for them in life. Dante feels no pity for them, but notes how Jason stays strong despite his punishment. The second Bolgia has souls submerged in a massive amount of human waste. These people are the flatterers. They manipulated others using their words, which are represented by the waste, for their own personal gain. The poets are disgusted by this Bolgia and leave quickly. In the third Bolgia, the souls are being hung upside down into holes of rock while their feet burn. The souls here are the Simoniacs, or those who used religious power for greed. Their punishment symbolizes baptism and a fit religious punishment. Dante hates the circle with a burning passion, which is clear in what he says to Pope Nicholas III. The fourth Bolgia is for the fortune tellers, false prophets, and astrologists. Their necks are bent backwards so that they can only see behind them. The punishment is fitting for them, because before they tried to look into the future, so now they can only look into the past. Dante feels pity for them and begins to weep for them, and Virgil reprimands him for doing so. The fifth Bolgia is for the corrupt politicians and those who took bribes and used their power for ill purposes. They are submerged in a lake of boiling pitch, which represents their greed and dark secrets, while being torn apart by demons called Malabulge. Dante feels no pity for them.
Within the 5 cantos, 2 particular rhetorical devices stood out from the many others. In Canto 18, the quote, "This side and that, along the livid stone, beheld I horned demons with great scourges, who cruelly were beating them behind." This is an imagery to describe demons punishing the sinners from the first Bolgia, the Pandurers and Seducers. This displays their demonic look while also showing their punishment towards the sinners. Another quote in Canto 22 is, "The frogs stand only with their muzzles out, so that they hide their feet and other bulk. So upon every side the sinners stood." This is a metaphor that clearly portrays the sinner as a fraud. Their bodies also symbolic to their punishment of their heads being turned around. This is to hide the shame from others as their heads are facing the other direction. In the story, Dante had to look harder to realize this punishment because of them hiding their bulk.
A person that possibly might end up in the first trench from the real world would be bosses that make those taking the lower status occupation, for example, part-time job workers, to do the work for them. Theocratic governments or church officials that ever used religion to receive what the individual wanted would end up in the third trench. Ones that made assumptions about other people's path in life and what would happen in the future, regardless of being helpful or nosy, would end up in the fourth bolja. So all fortune tellers, with no exceptions, would obviously end up in this trench because they looked in the future. Singers that take other musicians' work and receive awards, money, and fame would end up in the fifth trench for taking another person's work and getting the credit.